Hi everybody. So this is Let's Get Real. And so in this series of videos, I take a topic and then I talk about it, give my thoughts on it, and sometimes scripture references, different things like that. Shout out to Jake G-Kip for the intro song. That happened years ago, back when I first started doing Let's Get Real. But I still gotta give a shout out. I don't even know if he's doing much music anymore. But yeah, I give credit where credit is due. So in this episode, I'm going to be talking about friendship. Now, friendship can be tricky sometimes, but I would say in general, it is a huge blessing. I do know in scripture that God says he doesn't want us to be alone, and encourages fellowship and all that fun stuff. So yeah, I do think it's important to be careful about who your friends are, who you choose to spend most of your time with. Again, another scripture, I believe in Proverbs, talks about how bad company corrupts good morals. So you definitely want to be careful about that. If the people you're hanging out with, who you call friends, are pushing you, pulling you away from God and your relationship with him, that would be a red flag. If they aren't encouraging like your gifts and talents, that could be a red flag as well. Sometimes you have to use discernment in if they're helping you see something that you're doing wrong and trying to help you overcome that, or if they're just there to tear you down, and not encourage something that you're doing that's good. Hope that made sense. The sound is kind of weird to me, but I hope that made sense. Some other things kind of wanted to talk about was making sure that you're still pursuing your relationship with God and not relying on friends for constant joy or constant peace, which we can only get from God. Yes, we have moments where God will use our friends to give us those things, of course. But I think it's important to remember that people will always fail us at some point. And so if our joy and peace is reliant on others, then when they aren't around, we can go into like depression and deep despair and sadness when God is right there. So if you have God and Jesus in your heart and you're focused on them and you get your joy and peace from them, who never leave you, then it won't matter if your friends are around, you'll still have joy, if that makes sense. But yeah, it's fun to have really close friends. I've had conversation with one of my friends about if you can have more than one best friend. I think you can. He did not. He said you only have one best friend and then you have like friends and then I don't know. So that's something I'd love to hear your thoughts on in the comments. If you think you can have more than one best friend, or if it's just one best friend and then you have like besties and then friends and whatever other categories you want to put them into. But yeah, overall, friendships can be a roller coaster, but I think a lot of the time, if you're honest and communicate with each other, then friendship can be a really great thing. I love all my friends so much, even the ones I don't talk to so much anymore. It's not that we left on a bad foot or anything. Just, life comes and people get into different things and then it's just like normal separation. But when we do talk again, it's nice that it feels like no time has passed. So those are the type of friendships you really want to build and grow. And you don't have to connect on everything. I feel like sometimes people can be like, oh, my friends and I have to agree on everything if we're gonna be friends, and that's just not true. And also, if like you don't agree on everything, maybe like the big things, yes, but like on little things, it can help grow each other in like learning maybe different perspectives and different things like that. So yeah, and I think it's important to you can even like spend time with God together too as well. Obviously I'm a Christian, so I'm going to talk about God and bring God into everything. But even if you're not a Christian, like doing stuff together that you both enjoy is very important. And some core beliefs I think are important too, because if you don't agree on like the big things, then there's definitely gonna be I guess turmoil in sorts, at least at some point. And I don't know, just the state of the world today I think is just making things way worse. But yeah, in general, I love friends, and I have some amazing friends, and I've had friends come and go, like I was saying, and looking back, like at the time when you lose a friendship, sometimes it can be really hurtful and hard. But sometimes looking back, you can also see why God maybe removed them from your life. Whether they were holding you back, not on purpose necessarily, but just like taking up too much of your time where you couldn't pursue properly or put in effort properly into what God is calling you to do. So I think that's important to realize as well, that even though sometimes friends may leave or distance themselves, sometimes it's God doing it just to help you refocus on what he's calling you to do. Also could be that he's trying to call them to focus on what he's calling them to do as well. It's not always necessarily us. Sometimes God has to work on the other person as well, and sometimes separation is the only way to help that along. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below if you can have more than one best friend, and also what are some really fun things you enjoy doing with your friends. I know me and my friends, we love to play video games and stream, and talk about scripture, and sometimes go to concerts, and zoos and whatnot. But yeah, so let me know in the comments down below. I appreciate you all for watching. I'm hoping to make this a weekly thing, so stay tuned for that. But until the next video, everybody, remember, you're beautiful, talented, wanted, and loved. Shine Christ always. Bye!